I'm a speech-language pathologist at Mumford Middle School, and I appreciate all those comments, but I'm on a different venue. When I left public office 7 years ago, I made a conscious decision to go back to the classroom, be a union member, but let the activism to the next generation. I had done my time. I stepped back into the spotlight during the superintendent's race because I felt a sense of urgency, so I worked that campaign. But then I slipped back into my classroom, minding my own business and just working with my students. However, here I am again. Recent events have compelled me to leave my quiet space of the classroom. I want the public and this board to know that as a 42-year public school teacher, with all 42 years as a union member, watching Chair Cox's comments to the state board were disappointing at best. And saying my president, Scott Mazer, is hard to work with and that he was the reason that we hadn't settled the contract at that point, I find disingenuous. Scott and I don't always see eye to eye. He can attest to that. But he does speak for the members, and he does have our best interest at heart. And if any board member thinks that the teachers think $40 is a decent settlement, you're sadly mistaken. And I hope my fellow teachers voted no, like I did today, to bring us back to the table and have this board and administration look at the priorities of this district and reward the frontline workers, the ones in the field closest to the students, that make our students learn, grow, and shine. We're the ones responsible for A schools. We're the ones responsible for schools of excellence. And we're the ones that take a low-graded school and turn it into an A. Many of my fellow teachers live paycheck to paycheck. Fortunately, I do not. But as a longtime advocate and as the vice president and then president of the statewide teachers union who lobbied the legislature to provide the appropriate funding for our public schools to ensure we could earn a decent living and have the resources for our classroom, let me say this. Our working conditions are the students' learning environment, and $40 is not respect. Teachers are stressed and they're working 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet, yet they show up for their students. Saying the union is an obstructionist is incorrect. Our union wants this board to respect our work and recognize us as contributors to the district. If you think $40 is a respectable offer, then you've never struggled paycheck to paycheck. Chair Cox, you got one thing right when you cajoled to the state board. You are anti-union, and this union member feels that we are owed an apology for those comments made about the union to the state board. I hope that if we have to come back to the table, that the school board and the administration will find the priorities to make a decent offer to the teachers. If Orange County can find a good percentage raise for their teachers, I believe we can do more than $40 for the members.
Time.